most interesting thing in impact. The 2024 SDG Gender Index was released, and there's one stark finding. With less than 6 years remaining until the 2030 agenda deadline, not one country is on track to achieve gender equality by 2030. I'm a feminist, and gender equality is a cause close to my heart. And as stars would have it, my daughter was born on International Women's Day. So every year, it's a birthday celebration and a celebration of feminist movements. The 2024 SDG Gender Index was produced by Equal Measures 2030. It's a critical reminder of the work that still needs to be done. Equal Measures 2030 is the leading global coalition for accountability on gender equality and the SDGs. The report notes that when it comes to gender equality, nearly 40% of countries have stagnated or even declined between 2019 and 2022. And the declining index score is deeply worrying. The research notes a number of factors, from increasing political polarization to climate migration to affordability of life's essentials like food and housing, and personal autonomy, individual rights, and freedom from discrimination. If this trend towards blacksliding and stagnating gathers pace, Equal Measures forecasts reveal that global gender inequality will be worse in 2030 than when the SDGs were agreed to back in 2015. The SDGs are deeply interconnected and entangled. How interconnected are they? 74% of the SDG targets won't be achieved without gender equality. That's how deeply entangled the goals are. So, where does Canada fall in the ranking? Well, we're not in the top 5. We are not in the top 10. We're 18th, and we've stayed that way for a number of years. And the research forecasts that we'll stagnate until 2030. The bottom line, no progress. Really? Countries like Singapore, Slovenia, Ireland, and Estonia have a higher score than Canada. Don't get me wrong, there's extraordinary work happening in Canada, coast to coast to coast. Networks like Fora, to community supports like Women's Shelters Canada, to large funds like Equality Fund, to the policy advocacy done by Canadian Women's Foundation. Women make up the majority of people who work in the social purpose world. We broke new ground with the Feminist International Assistance Policy and so much more. But the research notes it's a different experience on the ground on a number of things. When it comes to pay, when it comes to women with disabilities, when it comes to gender-based violence, especially gender-based violence against Indigenous women. The 2024 index presents a stark reality. Based on current trends, the world won't achieve gender equality for nearly a century. What does this mean? So a girl born today would have to wait until her 97th birthday, beyond her expected lifespan in every country, to witness a truly gender equal society. Now, this is absolutely absurd. Having said all this, though, there is some positive movement. Nearly a third of countries made fast progress towards gender equality in the past 5 years. Countries like Vietnam, Moldova, Chile, and Chad have improved their scores significantly, showing the fastest progress across the index. But this advancement is extraordinary, but it's also fragile. One thing that struck me in the entire research report recommendations that I found intriguing was there's no reference to the role of men and boys in achieving gender equality. And that makes me wonder. I'm a feminist and a firm believer that systemic change is difficult in the next generation without boys and men involved in the change. We need to change how the world sees, acts, and thinks about masculinity. I think this is really important. And we can be a part of the systemic solution. Let's get to gender equality by 2030. That's the most interesting thing and impact. I'll see you again soon.